Behind a nearby door, strange infected people keep banging, trying to get to her. Inside an empty store, Carol is desperately looking for any kind of medicine or energy drink to keep herself awake. This nightmare all started just a few days ago. A space shuttle exploded while returning to Earth, scattering debris across several US states. News outlets quickly picked up the story, calling it a possible alien invasion. While most people stayed away from the debris, some tried to sell pieces of it online. Tucker, who works for the CDC, visits one of the crash sites and discovers that the debris carries a strange organism. It can survive high radiation and multiplies fast. Definitely not from Earth. While leaving, Tucker gets a small cut from the debris but thinks nothing of it. That night, his dog acts strange and won't go near him. Later, Tucker sweats heavily and his face starts changing. Something is taking over his body. Meanwhile, his ex-wife Carol wakes up to comfort their son Oliver after a nightmare. The next day, Tucker calls and oddly asks to see Oliver, even though he's barely been involved in his life. Carol refuses, feeling uneasy. Later, Carol goes to work as a psychiatrist. On her way, she meets her friend Ben, a doctor, who hints that the government is hiding something. Many researchers from the crash site have quit suddenly. Carol brushes it off and focuses on her patients. Her first patient, Wendy, says her husband has been acting strange and even killed their dog without any emotion. Carol senses something is off but doesn't dig deeper just yet. That evening, Carol and her neighbor take their kids trick-or-treating. At one house, the family dog suddenly attacks one of the boys, but the boy doesn't seem scared or in pain. He just calmly hurts the dog until it's pulled away. Later, Carol finds a weird piece of flesh in Oliver's candy. She takes the flesh to Ben, who gives it to his scientist friend, Stephen. He says testing will take some time. Meanwhile, a mysterious virus is spreading fast across the country, causing panic and many deaths. During a government meeting, Tucker says the virus can only be stopped through mass vaccination. But in reality, infected waiters are secretly vomiting into the tea served at that very meeting, spreading the virus even more. Back at work, Carol finds Wendy's husband waiting for her, showing no emotion. She warns Wendy just in time, and Wendy escapes. That night, Carol finally agrees to let Oliver visit Tucker. On the drive there, a frightened woman appears in the road and begs for help. She says something terrible is coming but gets hit by a car before she can explain. The driver shows no reaction, and police brush it off strangely. At Tucker's house, Carol notices he seems distant and emotionless. Later, she and Ben attend a party where a diplomat, his wife, and a doctor discuss philosophy and society. Afterward, Ben tries to kiss Carol, but she gently pulls away, afraid to hurt their friendship. Later that night, a strange man comes to Carol's door claiming to be from the Census Department. She senses danger, slams the door on him, and locks it. Oliver, meanwhile, is given a special drink by Tucker. The next day, Carol notices that many people in the streets have blank, lifeless expressions. At work, all her appointments are canceled. When she tries to call Wendy, her husband picks up, claiming everything is fine. Carol begins to suspect that the virus is taking control of people while they sleep. She rushes to the lab where Stephen explains the truth. The virus infects people during sleep, rewrites their brain, and turns them into emotionless beings. The only way to stay safe, for now, is to stay awake. Just then, Ludmila calls, saying her husband Yurish is acting strange. Carol, Ben, and Stephen rush to help and find Yurish mid-transformation. He attacks them before finally dying. This confirms the danger is very real. Carol hurries to get Oliver back. At Tucker's, she's told Oliver isn't there. The infected men try to stop her, and Tucker infects her with his saliva. She escapes and tries to get help, but even the neighbors are infected. She eventually boards a subway full of blank-faced passengers. A man tells her to act emotionless to blend in. When more infected people enter the train, Carol and a few others run to the back and escape. She ends up in a subway locker room and finds a guard's gun. In panic, she accidentally shoots the guard. On the streets, she sees the police forcing people to get vaccinated, which is actually a way to infect them. One cop warns her to stay cool because her sweating could give her away. Carol pretends to be infected and continues her search. She heads to Tucker's house but finds it empty. Ben and Stephen are now at Belichick's mansion, working on a cure and trying to stay awake. Guards come searching for intruders, but the group escapes through the back. They see Wendy being taken away even though she says she slept and stayed normal. Ben and Carol realize that Wendy must be immune. They check her medical file and discover she had a brain condition called encephalitis, which protected her. The virus only attacks healthy brains. Carol then gets a message from Oliver, who says he's being held at his grandmother's house. She admits to Ben that she's already infected, but he promises to help her. Ben drives her as far as he can before drawing police attention so Carol can continue alone. She boards a train to Baltimore, where she hides in the bathroom. Exhausted, she starts hallucinating but wakes up in time. She meets Jean, Oliver's friend, who keeps insisting she sleep. When they reach the house, Carol pretends to be emotionless. Tucker is there, and Oliver is hidden. Once Tucker leaves, Carol finds Oliver, and they hug. Oliver says he's been sleeping but hasn't turned because of his sleeping medication. Jean catches them, but Carol pushes him aside and they escape. Tucker chases them into an old warehouse. After a fight, Oliver hits him with a tool and they get away. They hide in an empty store. Carol shows Oliver a syringe and tells him to use it on her heart if she ever falls asleep. After hours of staying awake, she eventually passes out. The infected in the other room begin pounding on the door. Oliver wakes up, sees Carol asleep, and injects her just in time to stop the transformation. Ben arrives, but he's infected. He tries to convince Carol to join their new society without hate or pain. Carol refuses. When Ben lets the infected out to go after Oliver, she fights back and shoots them. She wounds Ben but doesn't kill him. Carol and Oliver escape in Ben's car, heading toward a helicopter pickup point. They're chased, and Carol crashes, but wakes up in time. She drives through fire and chaos until she finally reaches the rooftop, where Stephen rescues them with a helicopter. Later, a global vaccine cures everyone, and the world returns to normal. People have no memory of what happened. Carol adopts Jean, and she's now with Ben, who's recovered. But as Ben reads news of violence returning to society, Carol silently reflects on the aliens' promise of a peaceful world without emotions. What would you do if sleep meant losing your humanity? If you enjoyed this gripping tale of survival, sacrifice, and alien invasion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a thrilling story recap like this. Let us know in the comments, would you stay awake at all costs or give in to the promise of a peaceful but controlled world?